Captain Sean had been flying alone for months. He was assigned to patrol the outer edge of human space, where nothing much ever happened. The stars were always the same, silent, far, cold. His ship, the Drifter, moved slowly across the darkness, following orders, scanning empty space, and waiting for anything to break the silence. One quiet shift, something strange appeared on his radar. It was a faint signal, broken, weak, like a whisper lost in the wind. He leaned forward and narrowed his eyes. AI analyzed the source, he said. The ship's voice responded, calm and steady. Unknown distress signal detected. Coordinates marked. Origin appears to be alien. Single life sign detected. Condition critical. Sean didn't think twice. Plot course. Bring us in close. The ship adjusted direction and moved toward the signal. As they got closer, Sean could see the damaged vessel. It looked like a small scout ship, torn open on one side. Some of its lights still flickered. The rest looked dead. Prepare for manual boarding, he ordered. Suited up in his gear, Sean crossed into the alien ship through a connected airlock. Everything inside was broken. Sparks popped from panels. Smoke filled the air. The floor was covered in black marks, burns from something powerful. He moved slowly, carefully. Then he saw her. A young alien woman sat on the floor, leaning against a broken control panel. Her skin was a soft light blue, and her silver hair fell over her face. Her eyes were wide, full of fear and confusion. She looked at him like she didn't believe he was real. Sean stepped closer, raising his hands to show he wasn't a threat. Hey, he said gently, I'm here to help. Her lips moved, but no words came. Her body shook as if she'd been cold for days. And then, suddenly, she reached out. Her hand grabbed his arm tightly, fingers trembling, and she began to cry. Loudly, not in fear, but like someone who had been holding pain for too long. Sean knelt down beside her. You're okay now, he said. I've got you. She didn't let go of his arm. Instead, she pulled herself closer to him, resting her head against his chest. Her breathing was shallow, but she held on to him like she didn't want to be alone for even one more second. He lifted her gently into his arms and carried her back through the airlock. Inside the Drifter, he brought her to the medbay. Soft lights turned on automatically. The AI scanned her condition while Sean helped her lie down on the bed. She is weak from exhaustion and dehydration, the AI reported. No internal damage. Vital signs unstable, but recovery is possible with care. Sean gave her water slowly, holding the cup as she drank with shaking hands. Her eyes stayed on him the whole time. She seemed confused, like she couldn't understand why a human was helping her. He smiled gently. You're safe here, I promise. She tried to speak again, but the only sound was a soft word in her own language. It didn't matter. He could feel the meaning in her voice. She was afraid, hurt, alone. You don't need to talk now, he said. Just rest. She closed her eyes, but her hand still held onto his arm. Sean sat there in silence, watching her breathe. He'd seen many things in space, but this was something different. There was something about her, something more than fear. It was like she had been running from something bigger than just a crash. He stood up slowly and walked to the control room. AI, scan her ship. Try to find identification log entries or messages. Processing, the AI replied. Sean stared at the stars outside the window. Something deep inside told him this wasn't a normal rescue. This wasn't just a broken ship or a lost alien. Why had she held on to him like that? Why the tears? What had she seen out there? The AI's voice returned after a moment. Partial data recovered. Encryption present. Origin unknown. Possible warning message hidden in the logs. Sean frowned. Can you decode it? Attempting to estimate. 2 hours. He leaned back in his seat. He didn't know who she was. He didn't know where she came from. But one thing was already clear. She hadn't just been rescued. She had been running from something. And now, whatever that was, might be coming straight toward him too. That the alien woman didn't speak much, but her eyes said many things. Captain Sean sat near the medbay, watching her rest. Every now and then, she looked at him with a mix of fear and trust, like she was trying to decide what kind of person he truly was. Her hand still held onto the edge of the blanket tightly, like she expected something bad to happen at any second. He brought her another small cup of water. Here, he said gently, handing it to her. Drink slowly. She took it with both hands and sipped quietly. After a moment, she gave him a small nod, like a thank you, even if no words came. It was the first time she showed even a tiny bit of peace since he found her. Do you understand me? Sean asked again. The alien woman nodded once. Do you have a name? She hesitated, then whispered Varaya. Sean smiled. Viraya, that's a beautiful name. She lowered her eyes, her voice soft. You saved me. Yep, he said. But I think you went through something bad. Do you want to tell me what happened? Vera didn't answer right away. Her face became tight, her fingers gripping the blanket again. Her breathing grew faster. Sean raised his hands. It's okay. We don't have to talk about it yet. The ship's AI interrupted. Captain, decryption of the alien logs is now complete. I'll be right back, Sean told Viraya. You just rest. He walked to the control room and sat in front of the screen. Lines of alien symbols were now translated into English. He scrolled through them slowly. The message was a report. It spoke of a research mission gone wrong Viraya had been part of. A team sent to explore a strange object drifting near the edge of their territory, something that gave off unnatural energy. It wasn't a weapon. It wasn't technology. It was older, forgotten, sleeping. Until it woke up after the team touched the object. People started disappearing. Ships went dark. Communication failed. Then the message turned desperate. Viraya's logs warned others not to go near it. Her final entry was short. They are coming. I must escape. I don't think anyone else made it. Sean sat back in his chair, shocked. What had she seen? What did she mean by they? And why hadn't her people come looking for her? He returned to the medbay. Viraya looked up at him, eyes wide. She could tell something had changed. I read your logs, Sean said. Do you want to talk now? Viraya nodded slowly. We were scientists, not soldiers. We didn't think it was dangerous. Her voice trembled as she spoke. It was not from any world. We thought it was dead, but we were wrong. It was waiting. Sean frowned. What was it? A mind, she whispered. Not a machine. Not a person. Something. Lost. Alone. Angry. It touched our thoughts. It made us see things, hear things. Some of us turned on each other. Her voice cracked. I ran. I didn't want to, but I was afraid. Sean sat beside her. You did the right thing. Whatever it was, it sounds dangerous. She looked at him, her eyes filled with guilt. My people, they won't believe me. They will think I left them behind. They might even think I caused it. Then we'll prove them wrong, Sean said. We'll find out what that thing is, and we'll make sure it doesn't hurt anyone else. Vera looked surprised. You believe me? Yes, he said simply. I saw the fear in your eyes and the pain. You're not lying. For the first time, Viraya smiled just a little. It was small, but real. Thank you, she said. They sat in silence for a while. Then the ship's AI spoke again. Captain, a long-range scan shows an unknown signal approaching from the direction of the alien object. Estimated arrival, 14 hours. Sean stood up, alert. Can you identify the source? No known match in any galactic database, the AI replied. Signal is strange, shifting, unstable. He looked at Viraya. Her expression had turned pale. It's them, she said quietly. It followed me. Sean felt a chill. Then, we prepare. Sean stood in the command room, staring at the signal on the screen. It was getting closer, slowly but surely. It didn't follow the normal path of a ship. It moved like it was searching. Hunting. Viraya sat behind him, hugging her knees on the bench near the wall. Her silver hair fell across her face as she watched the screen with fear in her eyes. You sure it's the same thing that chased you? Sean asked. She nodded. I can feel it, like it remembers me. Sean glanced at her. It's not just a ship, is it? Viraya shook her head. It's not a ship at all, it's alive. Sean's jaw tightened. A living thing that could move through space. That could make people see things and turn against each other. He'd never heard of anything like that. Not even in old war stories. We need to leave this area, he said. I don't want to be here when it arrives. We can't, Viraya said, voice quiet. If we run, it follows, and every time it gets closer. Then what do we do? Sean asked. Wait for it to find us. No, she said. We face it, but not alone. We need others. Sean leaned forward. You mean, call for help? Vera nodded. But not my people. They won't listen. They'll think I'm sick. Sean understood. Then we'll contact Earth Command. He opened a secure channel and sent a long-range signal to human space. It would take hours, maybe longer, to get a response. All they could do now was wait. Meanwhile, he focused on the signal. It was strange. It kept changing, like it wasn't Earth. Table 1 second it was faint. The next it was sharp and strong. Even the AI struggled to track it. I don't like this, Sean muttered. Feels like it's already here, watching us. Vera sat up straight. It can reach minds, thoughts, even across space. If it's close enough, we might start seeing things. He looked at her carefully. Has that happened already? She nodded. Sometimes I hear voices. Sometimes I see shadows that aren't there. Sean took a deep breath. Then we need to be ready. We stick together, no matter what happens. Handed her a small device. This will keep us connected. If you hear or see something strange, tell me. Don't keep it inside. She took it gently. Thank you. Later, Sean checked the engines and weapons. The drifter wasn't a warship, but it had enough power to defend itself for a while, maybe long enough for help to arrive. But as the hours passed, the air on the ship felt heavier, colder. Small things started happening. The lights flickered once. The AI paused mid-sentence. Sean heard a soft whisper in the hallway, but when he turned, there was no one there. He didn't say anything at first. He didn't want to scare Varaya more, but then she came into the control room with wide eyes. I saw them, she said. The others from my team, they were standing outside the window. Sean rushed over. There's no one out there. No, she said softly, but they looked real. It's starting, Sean said. It's trying to break us. He sat next to her. Listen to me. No matter what you see, it's not real. It's trying to scare us, confuse us. We fight it with our minds. Viria nodded. If we give in, it wins. He smiled a little. Exactly. Just then, the screen blinked. A new signal appeared. It was a reply from Human Command. Message received. Unknown threat confirmed. Backup en route, hold position. Sean exhaled in relief. Help is coming. Varaya looked out the window. We just have to survive until then. Suddenly, the ship shook. Not from an attack but like space itself bent for a second. Outside, a shadow moved across the stars. It wasn't a ship. It was bigger, darker, slower than anything he'd seen, and it was watching them. It's here, Varaya whispered. Sean stood, heart pounding. Then we hold the line. The shadow outside didn't move like a ship. It didn't have engine or lights. It was just theirs, low, silent, and heavy. Sean had never seen anything like it. It didn't show up on normal sensors, but his eyes told him it was real. Virei stood beside him, frozen. Her face looked pale under the dim light. This is how it began, she whispered. This is what took my team. Sean swallowed hard. Does it attack with weapons? No, she said. It attacks the mind. It makes you forget who you are. Then it fills you with fear, until you give in. The ship's AI gave a soft alert. Captain, crew mental stability dropping. Possible external influence detected. Sean looked around. How close is it? Distance unknown, the AI replied. Space distortion prevents accurate reading. Viraya stepped back from the screen. We need to stop looking at it. That's how it gets in. Sean nodded and turned away from the window. AI, activate internal shields. Block all external visuals. Metal panels slid down over the windows, hiding the shadow outside. The ship's lights dimmed, and the humming of the engines felt louder in the silence that followed. Sean turned to Varaya. How did you survive last time? I didn't look, she said. I kept repeating one memory in my head, a small one, something real. It helped me stay myself. What memory? My sister, she said quietly. Her laugh, her hands, always warm. Sean nodded. Then we both do the same. We find something real, something it can't take from us. For Sean, it was the memory of his father teaching him to fix engines in their garage on Earth. The smell of grease, the sound of laughter. He clung to it now like a shield. The ship trembled again, softer this time. Then came the whispers. They were low, almost too quiet to hear, like someone speaking from across a dream. At first, Sean thought it was the AI glitching, but the sound kept shifting. Male voices, female voices, voices he once knew. Voices he didn't. Don't listen to it, Varaya said, covering her ears. It's not real. Sean closed his eyes and focused on his memory. The sound of his father's voice, telling him not to give up. Use your hands. Sean, don't let the machine win. He breathed in slowly. AI, how long until reinforcements arrive? Estimated time, 3 hours, 16 minutes. Too long. That the whispers grew louder. Sean started seeing movement in the corners of his eyes, shadows that vanished when he turned. Once, he thought he saw Vera standing behind him, but she was already in front of him. The thing outside wasn't just watching anymore. It was trying to get inside. Suddenly, the lights in the medbay blinked out. AI status, Sean shouted. Systems under strain, power levels dropping, unknown force disrupting ship's core functions. He grabbed his sidearm and ran toward the medbay. Varaya followed behind him, holding onto the wall for balance. Inside, the bed was empty. She's gone, Varaya said. No, Sean whispered. This is a trick. Then he heard crying from behind the bed. He rushed over and found the alien woman curled in the corner, shaking, just like when he found her the first time. But Varaya was still beside him. He stared in confusion. Two of them, the one in the corner, looked up. Her face was sad, eyes full of pain. You left me, she said. Vir grabbed Sean's arm. Don't talk to it. That's not me. The figure vanished like smoke. Sean's chest tightened. This thing, it's copying you. Vir nodded. It tries to confuse, to separate us. If we're alone, we're weaker. Sean pulled out a flashlight and turned it on. It cut through the darkness like a sharp blade. Then we don't leave each other's side, he said. No matter what we see, we move together. She nodded again. They made their way back to the control room. Sean checked the monitors. Most of them were filled with static now. Only one screen still worked, showing a blurry image of the stars. He didn't need to see the shadow to know it was still there. The whispers returned, stronger this time. They filled the room. Voices layered over voices. They said things that hit deep. You failed. You're alone. She will leave you. You can't stop it. Sean gritted his teeth and shut his eyes. Not real. Not real. Beside him, Vera pressed her hands together and repeated her sister's name, over and over. Aline, Aline, Aline. Double quotes together. They fought back. Not with guns. Not with shields. With memory. With each other. The ship trembled again. But this time the lights stayed on. Sean opened his eyes. We're still here. Berea gave a small smile. Yes. And we're not giving up. The hours dragged on like slow-moving shadows. Time felt strange inside the ship. The whispers were still there, always changing, always trying to break their minds. But Sean and Virea sat together in silence, refusing to listen. They didn't speak much. They didn't need to. Their quiet presence was stronger than the noise. Outside, how long now? Sean finally asked. The AI answered, voice soft but steady. Reinforcements arriving in 1 hour and 10 minutes. Still too long, but better than before. Virea leaned her head against the wall, her eyes tired but calm. It's getting weaker. Sean raised an eyebrow. How can you tell? The shadows aren't as strong as before. They flicker now, like they're losing control. He nodded. Maybe it's because we're not afraid. Virea gave a small smile. It feeds on fear. That's how it survives. Just then, the ship groaned. A low sound, like something large had brushed against its hull. Sean stood up, alert. What was that? The AI replied quickly. Outer hull surface has been touched. No breach detected. Contact appears to be non-physical. What does that mean? Sean asked. The entity is pressing against the ship, but not with matter, with thought. Virea stood beside Sean. It's trying to enter. Sean clenched his jaw. What happens if it gets in? It can take control of minds. One at a time. It turns you against your own people. How do we stop it? Virea looked unsure. We don't fight it with weapons. We fight it with something stronger. Something real. Sean frowned. Like what? Memories, emotions, love, connection. It doesn't understand those. It can't copy what it doesn't feel. He thought for a second. Then we show it who we are. Virea blinked. What do you mean? He walked to the console and opened the COM system. AI. Open a short-range broadcast. Full loop. Send out a human signal. What kind of signal, Captain? The AI asked. Play something human. Something real. Something emotional. The AI paused, then selected a simple sound file. An old Earth recording started to play. A child laughing in a park, birds singing, the sound of a river flowing. Then a soft human voice began to tell a story. It was about a family building a small home on a distant colony world. It was peaceful, kind, full of life. The sound echoed through the ship's speakers and out into space. Vire watched him closely. You're not fighting it. You're reminding it that it doesn't belong. Sean nodded. It's not just about us surviving. It's about showing it that we're not afraid. We remember who we are. The ship shook again. Harder this time. The walls creaked, and for a moment, the lights dimmed. The whispers grew louder, but then something changed. They sounded confused, like the voice of the entity was no longer sure of itself. Why do you smile? It asked in 100 tones. Why do you help the weak? Why do you not run? Sean stood tall in the middle of the room. Because we're not alone, because we care, because fear doesn't rule us. Vera stepped beside him, her voice strong. You don't understand love. That's why you can't break us. The lights flickered again but then returned to full brightness. The coldness in the air began to fade. The walls stopped shaking. For the first time, silence filled the room. Real silence. Peaceful. The AI gave a new report. Entity retreating. Signal weakening. Unknown presence is moving away from ship. Virea gasped. It's leaving. Sean let out a breath. We didn't fight it with weapons. We just stayed human. The signal on the screen slowly faded, then disappeared completely. After a long moment, the AI said, "Reinforcements arriving in 5 minutes." Sean smiled and looked at Viraya. "Well, they're late." She smiled too. It was the first real smile he'd seen from her, free of fear, full of quiet strength. They sat together on the floor, not speaking, just watching the stars return to normal outside the screen. Whatever that thing had been, it was gone for now, and somehow, even though their minds had been tested, they came out stronger than before. The drifter cruised steadily through the calm space. Outside the windows, stars shone clearly, no shadows or whispers to disturb the silence. Sean and Varia sat side by side, still tired but relieved. "Do you think it's really gone?" Sean asked quietly. Varia looked out at the stars. "For now, but it will try again. We must be ready." Sean nodded. Help should arrive soon. After what felt like hours, a new signal appeared on the screen. This time it was different, strong, steady, and filled with hope. "Human fleet vessel detected," the AI announced, approaching for docking. Sean stood and moved to the communications panel. He sent a signal to identify himself and the alien passenger. Moments later, a calm voice replied, "Captain Sean, this is Commander Lara from Earthfleet. We received your distress call. We're here to help." Sean smiled. "Thank you, Commander. We need all the help we can get." Viraya stood and watched the docking sequence on the screen. Her hands trembled slightly. "I hope they understand." When the docking clamps locked, the airlock opened, and a team of well-equipped soldiers entered. They looked around cautiously but relaxed when they saw the small group waiting. Commander Lara approached Sean and Viraya. "We heard your message about the unknown threat. Do you have any information?" Sean nodded and told her everything: the scout ship, the strange object, the mind that could attack and control, and the battles they fought inside the ship. Lara listened carefully. "This is unlike anything we've seen before. Thank you for your bravery." Viraya stepped forward. "It is not just dangerous. It is lonely and angry. It does not understand friendship or kindness." Lara looked at her thoughtfully. "Maybe that is our key. We cannot fight with weapons alone. We need to show it what we value." Sean agreed. "We survived because we remembered who we are." The soldiers began working on scanning the area near the strange object. Their advanced equipment soon picked up readings that Sean and Vera's ship could not. "This object," Lara explained, "is a relic from an ancient civilization. It appears to have some form of consciousness, but it's damaged like a broken mind trapped in space." Vera nodded. "We touched it, and it tried to reach into our minds." Lara frowned. "Then we need to find a way to communicate, to help it heal, or at least contain it without more harm." Sean felt hope growing. "Can we send a message?" Lara smiled. "We have a team of diplomats and scientists on board. We'll try everything." Meanwhile, Sean and Viraya talked quietly. She told him more about her home world, about the scientists who studied the object, and about the friends she lost. "I thought I was alone," she said softly. "But with you and these people, I feel like maybe there is a chance." Sean squeezed her hand. "There always is." Hours passed as the fleet prepared for a cautious approach to the object. Sean's ship joined the larger fleet, and they moved together toward the strange energy dot. The ship's AI announced, "Entity presence detected. Weakened but still active." Lara ordered the fleet to hold positions. "No weapons fire. We try communication first." Scientists sent signals, patterns of light and sound designed to be peaceful, friendly. The ship waited. Then, slowly, the dark shadow appeared again, but this time it moved gently, almost curious. Viraya watched, eyes wide. "It is listening." Sean held his breath. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then a soft pulse of light spread from the object. It was calm, soothing, a feeling of sadness and hope mixed together. Lara smiled. It responded. The scientists continued their signals, and the shadow seemed to shift. It wasn't attacking, it was trying to understand. Sean looked at Viraya. "Maybe it just needs a friend." She nodded. "Maybe." The fleet stayed near the object, ready to protect but not to fight. Over the next hours, the tension eased. The dark presence faded slowly into the distance, retreating but not disappearing. Sean and Viraya sat together, watching the stars return to their peaceful glow. "We changed something today," Sean said softly. "Yes," Viraya replied. "We showed that even the darkest minds can learn light." The crew began to relax. The threat was still out there, but now it was not a monster. They had reached it with understanding. Sean looked at Viraya, grateful for her courage. "Thank you for trusting me," he said. She smiled. "Thank you for saving me." They both knew the journey was not over. The galaxy was vast, and dangers remained. But together they had made a difference. And sometimes, that was enough. The drifter floated quietly now, joined by the Earthfleet vessels. The strange shadow had retreated far beyond their reach. For the first time in days, the silence felt calm and safe. Captain Sean stood on the bridge, looking out at the stars. Beside him, Vera rested, her face peaceful for the first time since he found her. "Do you think this is truly over?" she asked softly. Sean shook his head gently. "I don't think anything is ever truly over in space, but right now, we won. We faced fear, and we found hope." Vera smiled faintly. "You showed me what it means to trust again, to feel safe." He looked at her with warmth. "You showed me that even in the darkest moments, courage can shine." The commander of the Earth fleet, Lara, approached them. "We have transmitted the data to Galactic Command. Your report has sparked a full investigation into this entity and the ancient object." Sean nodded. "What will they do now?" Lara smiled. "They will send scientists, diplomats, and peacekeepers. This is new territory, and they want to handle it carefully." Vera's eyes glistened. "Maybe now my people will listen. Maybe they will believe me." Sean reached out and took her hand. "You're not alone anymore." The days that followed were busy. The fleet set up a safe zone around the object. Research teams arrived, working to understand and contain the strange presence. Sean and Vera became part of the team studying the entity's behavior. They shared their experience and warned others about the dangers of fear and isolation. One evening, as the stars glowed softly outside, Sean and Vera stood together on the observation deck. "Do you miss home?" he asked. She nodded. "Yes, but I have found a new home here, among friends." "The galaxy is big," Sean said, "but maybe with courage and kindness, we can make it smaller, safer." Vera smiled. "You humans are stronger than I thought, and you aliens have more heart than I imagined," he replied. Their journey had started with fear and tears, but it ended with hope and new beginnings. As the fleet prepared to leave, Sean looked at Vera one last time. "Thank you," he said quietly, "for trusting me, for holding on." She smiled, tears shining in her eyes. "And thank you for holding me." The stars twinkled above them, bright and full of promise, in the vast silence of space. Two lives had changed forever, and the galaxy had learned that sometimes the greatest strength comes not from weapons or power but from trust, friendship, and the courage to face the unknown together.